As I'm sitting here thinking about the position that each of you are in, and as you're getting ready to embark on this process and go through the interview process, I started thinking about the very first job, one of the very first jobs that I had. And certainly didn't start off as governor and had to work my way to get there, but one of the very first jobs I had was interning at a law firm in downtown Little Rock. I was really excited about this job. I thought I was going in to pretty much change the world. I found out very quickly I would be doing nothing but changing coffee filters and helping file papers. And the big moment I thought was going to be my breaking moment actually turned out to be a little bit of a hiccup in the road. See, because I was at the very bottom of the totem pole in this massive operation, I didn't have a parking spot. And so when I would get to work each morning, I would drive around, and there was a huge parking lot directly next to the building that I worked in. Most of the time there were spots available there, but the problem was it cost a couple dollars to park in one of those specific spaces. Back when I was in high school, we didn't have an app, you couldn't use a debit card, you had to pay real cash if you wanted to park in this parking lot. Unfortunately, because I was a teenager, I didn't have a lot of disposable cash in my pocket. And so some days I had the $3 or $4 to pay for that parking spot, and some days I didn't. So I thought, you know what, I'm never going to be back in this parking lot again after this internship is over. So I went through that 3-month internship, and I parked in that parking lot pretty much every day. And I left that job, and during the course of that time, I racked up quite a few parking tickets. And in my mind, I was thinking, you know what, it's not gonna matter, it's not gonna be a big deal, I'm gonna go off on my merry way to the next thing on the list. And so I leave that job, I go into my first year of college, and one afternoon I get a call from someone in my dad's office. They said, Sarah, I don't know what you've done, but I've never seen your dad this mad before. And I was thinking, hang up the phone. I tell this individual, she's like, I want to put you on the phone with your dad. I said, absolutely not. I have to think about what he knows about that I've gotten in trouble with before I get on the phone and talk to him. So I hang up the phone. She said, you have to call me back in an hour. So I spend the next hour racking my brain, trying to think, what is my dad so upset about? Finally, I give up, I call him back. He is very unhappy. He's the sitting governor at the time. And apparently, after you get a certain number of parking tickets, they can issue a warrant for your arrest. The unfortunate part of this story for me is that my car was not registered to me, it was actually registered to my dad. And thankfully, he had a friendly judge who thought he'd give him a heads up that he was about to have a warrant issued for his arrest as the sitting governor for unpaid parking tickets in the city of Little Rock. So my dad was not very excited or pleased with me, and was very unwilling to help me out. He hung up the phone, told me to figure it out, and I had 2 hours to do so. Obviously, I did not go to jail for that infraction because I seemed to manage to make it here, but the point of that story is you can have some hiccups along the way. Your path, your journey is not always going to be easy. It's certainly not going to be perfect. But the beauty of growing up, frankly, in America, growing up right here in Arkansas, is that you get to decide what path you're going to go down. The beauty of being an American is it doesn't matter where you start. You get to decide where you will finish. And the moment and the opportunity that you have in front of you right now is a moment where you get to decide the path you're going to go down. You get to sit down with some of the CEOs and some of the leaders in business for our state. It's a huge opportunity, and it puts you on a pathway to success. I'm so excited to be here and be part of what is happening. These are not just some of the leaders in your community, but some of the leaders in our state, some of the leaders in our country for what they do. And you have an opportunity to go into these careers, go into this workforce and be successful. I think one of the things that we have to remember is it doesn't matter how you start, it doesn't matter what hiccups you have along the way, you get to decide how that story ends. And by participating and engaging in this program and what you're going to have in front of you today allows you to write your own story. I'm so excited to be here, so excited to be part of such an incredible program with these great partners, Dr. Bobbitt, Randy Zook, Wendy, Bethany, this entire team, Andrew Parker, who are working and want to invest in you and want to see you be successful. I think that is one of the most amazing things is you have all of these stakeholders coming together because frankly, they believe in you and they know what you're capable of, and we can't wait to see you write your story. Thank you so much for letting me be here with you today, play a small part, and I can't wait to see what each of you in this room accomplish. Thank you so much, and God bless you guys.
So, we're going to let you decide. Would you like to start with the truck driving simulator, or would you like to start the estimate?
I'll start with the truck driver.
Okay, all right. This young man right here is going to show you how to do it. All right, there we go.
Let's start it.
All right, so
Put on the brake and then turn.
while we're holding the brake. All right. We've already mashed that gas real fast for this young
You
lady.
think I can do this without wrecking?
I believe in you. She's got it.
In fields, no less. All right, I'm ready to go.
All right. You're currently going 30 miles an hour in a 65 speed zone.
Well, I had heels on it. So I and I'm all, oh! Hey, you're supposed to be coaching me. I just took out a whole car.
So guys, you know,
that's why they don't let me drive. I've hit 2 cars and run off the road.
So guys, she has done a phenomenal job. But for pretend, Highway Interstate 30 may be shut down momentarily due to the fact of a little small fender bender. Would you like to try another one?
Yeah, let's do maybe
Let's get you another one fast. We're going to take you back into rural Arkansas, let you drive on a rural road. How about that?
Yeah, less cars. Is that what you're saying?
There we go. All right.
I know, though.
Same process. So
Okay.
turn the key to the right. There we go. There we go. Put it right there. Push down. There we go. Put the seat straight.
Okay, let's see if we can do this a little better.
You got it. You got it. You mash the gas. There you go. So we went from the major city highways to a rural back road. You good? Keep mashing gas.
I am. I feel like it's all the way down, but maybe I'm not in.
Hold it right fast. Hold it right
Oh, got it.
there. Mash gas.
There we go.
There we go. All right. And remember, you have a car behind you, but don't worry about Billy Bob Thornton just driving the car real fast behind us.
Okay.
So we're in rural Arkansas getting ready to make a small delivery, a little small town.
How far do we have to go to get to the delivery point? Because, the first round didn't go very well.
That's right. We're just going to drive down here, and I'm going to give you a little pointer. The car in front of you is kind of stopped, so we're going to have to kind of go around that car.
You didn't realize I was such a bad driver, did
Mash
you?
brakes. There we go. We're going to stop. And then, of course, we're going to let that van pass, and we're going to drive around. There we go.
Okay.
So we got you here.
Tell me your first name.
Carrington.
Carrington? Okay. Carrington, I take it you're better at this than I am.
Not by much.
You can say yes, it's okay.
Great job. You went right around that car with no
I consider that to
problem.
be a big win.
You did a phenomenal job. 53-foot trailer behind you, made it like a champ.
There we go.
Now, remember when we're going through small towns, they're not always used to big rigs coming through town. So we always want to be very cautious, but you never know what could possibly happen, right?
Going too fast.
You're in a small town, you don't get a lot of traffic, you tend to have situations like this happen. Mary Ann, she doesn't always look right to left before she walk out in front of the highway. And as you can see, Mary Ann could have been a little situation, right? But we did a phenomenal job and we actually made it to the end. And great job. And we might have just do something extra at you and looked at it. That's what I'm talking about. Great job.
Hey, see, Carrington, you're such a good teacher.